Peace and blessings, family. I am Chi Vital, aka King Chi, and I am back with another tool for your toolkits. We are in part two of Ancestor Worship, the Gift or the Curse. So I know it's late night, but we're all adults here, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm giving you all your tools for this weekend. And this information that I'm going to share with you is going to be helpful throughout your lives. Okay? So as you tune in, let me see those white hearts and ashe for the ancestors. Hey, Fairy Gang is in the building. What up, Emerald? How you doing? As you tune in, make sure you like and share this video just to make sure that everyone is getting a notification. As I know that this working around ancestors is very, very important to all of us. You know what I mean? It's like I said, we all have ancestors. We all came from somebody. Somebody. So as y'all jump on, don't forget to thumbs up this video. All right? So let me just expand my screen a little bit. Can y'all hear me just fine as well? All right. Cool. So, first and foremost, happy Diwali, y'all. Happy Diwali. It's a festive time. The lights are out. We are inviting prosperity, goodness, auspiciousness, wealth, good health, harmonious energy into our homes. And I want to speak to the timing of all these things. All right. So when you're ready, you have your notebooks out. Let me see those notebooks or ones in the chat, and I will begin. Yo, definitely throw your Diwalis up. Throw your Diwalis up. I love seeing those lamps. Everybody in the neighborhood about to see all these lights. Okay. Peace, y'all. Peace. Welcome, Jonah. Welcome, Divine Alchemy, Alexa. Welcome, Q Alchemist. Welcome, Billionaire Mystic. What up, Chikanzi? I can't even help feeling like this good. And for those of you who already know, you know, I just feel really good. I'm so glad to be here with y'all. Roses in the building. Yes. Roses represent beauty, divine beauty, love. All right. So I'm going to get into this lesson. I'm waiting for some more ones to see that you're ready to understand what we get into. So here we go. All right. I talked about envisioning yourselves as becoming an ancestor. And I like some of the language that I saw come out of the assignment. So shouts out to everybody who did their work and they posted it in the HOC. My folks, I bangs with you. Thank you. All right. So someone used the word boons. Okay, so we know that after doing a certain number of japas, you have a steady sadhana, a steady mantra discipline that you've been practicing. Ultimately, you're doing this work so that the god or goddess hears you, right? Hears you, you're doing it, hears you, recognizes the work that you're putting in, and therefore gifts you with a reward and takes something away or gives you a specific kind of power. Okay, so take something you don't want away or gives you the power to be able to protect yourself from something or Yeah, or you'll be able to destroy something that you need to destroy. That's like pretty layman terms, basic. All right. And so when I was talking about looking at the lives that the people who you've come from, your bloodline, where they've come from, what types of interactions do they have here on this planet Earth, it would include the good and the bad. And we're going to look at it, the good and the bad in this case, because it just makes it better to understand, right? There are times when, pardon me, there are times when people, when they're on Earth, no big surprise here, they do things that cause damage or cause debts to themselves. But more importantly, understand that what you do here on Earth doesn't just leave with you, it is now imprinted into your genetic code. So the good that you do accumulates and is passed on to the people that come behind you. The bad that you do is accumulated by your genetic code and also passes on to the people behind you. What you might notice, because this doesn't happen for everybody, it all depends on your bloodline, is that you may be exerting true effort to gain some type of progress in your lives. And I'll go through a list to just make it so you have an idea. Okay, this is a sign of this is a sign of that, right? But basically, you're pushing forth, you're trying to reap the rewards of your work. You're trying to reap the rewards of you doing this karmic cleansing work, these purification rites. Um, and sometimes it just seems like you see all of these other people reporting like, oh, I got this random check, I got this new job, I got the keys to my new place. And it's just like, I'm doing the homework, I'm doing the work. But instead, like, I'm getting coal instead of gifts. And for some of us, we don't really understand where that's coming from. Sometimes we think that we have some type of enemy present here in our lives. Like there's a hater, amongst me, my friends, there must be some type of jealous energy, or, this guy wants my lady or whatever, right? But what we understand from this ancient technology and understanding these codes is that the same way we belong to a bloodline, our consciousness will continue to come through that bloodline and be amongst the same kind of energies for generations. So even still, if you're doing work and you have an energy around you that is causing you trouble, that's not the first time that you've experienced it. That's not the first time that, when I say you have experienced it, that's not the first time that your bloodline has experienced it. It is part of the story, okay? And the thing is that the story, it doesn't end, but each avatar, like, remember, we are the deities and the devas. Each avatar, so each vehicle, each body that you come through, right, gets to experience your time within the film, okay? And while you're here, it's your job, since you're watching this, all right, it's your job to see, well, how can I not just help myself, but how can I clear some of this upset around me so that the generations that come through, either they will reap the rewards, or generations after them, because I'll be doing this, someone else after me is also going to jump into this work, and they're going to continue to do the work. And the more of us doing it is the faster we're going to get rid of that debt. Okay? So each time someone has come through in your bloodline, there's this karmic debt that's incurred, and then there's karmic rewards. What we have evidence of, right? How many of y'all have heard, like, when we do this healing work, we heal 7 generations forward, 7 generations back? How many of y'all have heard about that? Press 1 in the chat if you've heard about that, right? So dope. I've heard about it. I never questioned it because I've experienced it. I've seen it happen like real time. Okay. But what's awesome is that as I was inspired in my dreams to share this information with you all, I came across a report, a scientific report, a story about this research done where there's a lab, they use rats, and for the first time they present them this food that they like, and they tear it up, they enjoy it. Once they establish that they really, really, really like this food, they decide to rig it with an electrical shock. And once that starts happening, of course, they're going towards the food. They're like, yeah, let me go for it. And they start getting shocked. Now they're very afraid of it, and they stop going towards that particular food. They have babies. Those babies, and 7 generations after, all without being taught, have an aversion to that food. Like, they won't go near it. And it's after the 7th generation that it seems as if that genetic imprint has worn off, and that, I guess you call them litters, not really all the way sure, starts going back towards this particular food as if there's nothing wrong with it. Okay? So in that experiment, it reveals to us that the things that we experience here, the aversions that we experience here, the things that we really love when we experience here, those memories are imprinted so deeply into our genetic code that our family feels it when we're gone. Okay? Our family feels it when we're gone. So here are I'm going to give you a list of karmic debts that folks tend to experience when there's upset in the ancestral realm, and there is a debt that needs to be taken care of, and it hasn't been, and so there's a disturbance in your life. Here are some of the karmic debts. Let's write them down, or for the sake of your note-taking, make sure you write down the things that may directly correspond to your life. Okay? So we have hereditary diseases. That's heart disease, diabetes, sickle cell, asthma, rheumatoid arthritis. Hereditary diseases will notice that you're not the only one with the disease. You find out that, your children might also have the disease. Your parents had the disease. That whole, like, let me see your medical history. Those who are closest to you, they want a list of who has what, because even spiritually, those things are passed on. Obstacles in your education, career, or finances. These are whether you're really struggling in school, okay, and this is basically just struggling in school. Whether you're trying to get classes and somehow when you try to register, some of y'all experience this. You're like, I'm trying to register, and for whatever reason, like my application gets lost. Um, my teacher gets changed. They cancel my class mid semester. Um, Suddenly, like my shot record is lost. Now they won't accept me in the school. They're kicking me out. Those are obstacles in education. All right, I finished my credits, but they're saying no. There was one more thing, and now I can't walk across the stage. Like we're hitting hidden challenges to expand your education. Same with your career, same with your finances. You know, you went to school, you're getting, let's say you're getting great grades, and then you want to expand your career, and you're like, I know the technology, I've been marketing. It seems like I'm getting good feedback from the people I work with, but no matter how much I try to expand, I'm not seeing, the same results. And there are people who are not as talented as me, and they're like pulling in quadruples the numbers that I'm pulling in. Okay. That's an example of that. Finances, same deal, where you are trying to clean up your finances, trying to do something that is going to increase your return on your investments financially. And for whatever reason, you're just not hitting it. Like, even people are following your advice and they're doing well, and you're not doing well. All right. Delayed marriages and divorce. So I know we are in a whole new age, and we may not have as much emphasis on marriage um, as we once did in the past. But the facts are, when there's a marriage in the family and it's successful, or the earlier on there's a marriage in a family and it's successful, there's children that come out of it. There's longevity of the bloodline. There's an expansion in the family, being able to cover, many different areas of um, success or service to community. Like, marriage really does mean like an expansion of your squad. I mean, your team gets bigger. That's the way it's supposed to work. So it's supposed to be a blessing. It's supposed to be something that you look forward to. And it means that you're going to have a partner in life to be able to do things with a definite support system. Okay, so when marriage is delayed and you figure like, okay, I got my education, I've cleaned up my debts, my career is doing fine. I just want a mate to share these things with. I don't want to sleep in a cold bed at night. I want to go on I want to go on vacations. I want to eat dinner and sip tea and drink coffee in the morning with my mate. Okay? There are people really dealing with being all the way into their late 30s and having not had that experience, and they truly desire it. And it's like, when is this going to happen for me? Because by the time, like, when is it going to happen? Okay. And divorce. I know that, everyone has different reasons for divorce, but sometimes divorce seems like it's way easier to come than to maintain a happy relationship. And in fact, that is absolutely energetic. It is energetic, because most people do not walk the aisle or sign paperwork to get married with the intention of divorce. So whether you believe it or not, when people get married, there's a sure spiritual tie. And when it ends in divorce, there has to be an energy that is stronger than that tie that comes in to break it up. Okay? So That's another thing. Problems conceiving children and having repeated miscarriages. Okay? Problems conceiving or having repeated miscarriages. Another prevalent one are accidental or sudden deaths. And we don't, I feel that we really don't give enough energy to understanding death and death's role in life and how it affects a person. The way you die matters. Okay, so if you have knowledge about how people in your bloodline have passed and it was sudden or accidental, okay, it's important to know that. All right, it's important to know that. Um, we have moved so far away from having the kind of mastery over our consciousness where we decide to check up out of here as opposed to just, you know, random either freak accidents or letting ourselves become so full of disease that we are out of here. Okay. But accidental and sudden deaths are um, traumatic and they do create karmic debt because it's very upsetting and disarming. Okay. Mentally challenged children. So check this out. There's a couple things concerning children here you'll notice. You know how they say the things that you've done in this life will be repaid by the children that you give birth to? Those are energetics. Those are energetics, and unfortunately, how you carry yourself can absolutely come through your children. And if not your children, understand that if you are not on top of trying to clean up that debt, and then your children are, not involved in it. Let's say like you're like, okay, I know I did some whack stuff. I'm gonna really, really pour into my children. I'm gonna do lots of good deeds. I'm gonna be doing these mantras, da da da. But the children, they just like, ooh, this is great. I'm just, do my thing. And they're like not even worried about it, right? They're spoiled because they have the good life. Their children, okay, if they're disrespectful, right? Their disrespect of you will add to the debt that you're trying to clear, and then their children will totally be affected. Okay? So tell your children that too. I'm doing my job to clean up my mess. Don't add to it, or else you're going to have to pay for it too. You're going to have to pay for mine and yours. Okay? So mentally challenged children. That's a hard thing to deal with. It's very time consuming because children, we already know, require mad attention, require lots of energy, resources. So when there's a challenge, mentally or physically, which is the next thing, physically disabled children, it takes a lot of life force out of their caretakers. That's a fact. So no matter how strong those individuals appear, understand that it takes hella life force, and it is believed that those types of incidents are as a result of karmic debts that were incurred somewhere through your bloodline. All right. I mentioned physically disabled children and troublesome children. Like I said, like I thank goodness and whoever who came before me that my children are the bomb. Like, they're so chill. But troublesome children, who like are consistently embarrassing you out in the public. They are getting in trouble all the time. They're causing chaos in the house. Uh like that is a result of karmic debt. And when I'm talking the karmic debt that I'm talking about, it's all bloodline related. So this is your ancestors. Okay? This is your ancestors. The next thing is extreme fighting within the family. Extreme fighting in the family. Now y'all know y'all know stories and you know your own story. Sometimes your story seems crazy and then you hear somebody else's story and you're like, oh, your family's all the way like y'all nuts. I thought my family was crazy. Y'all family is all the way off the chain. Like y'all are fighting over the color of the sky. So there are levels to this. Okay. I'm gonna say this because this is what's coming to me. When I give you this information, and this is bothering me here. Anyways, when I give you this information, serious talk, if you're dealing with something like extreme infighting, family fighting, and you're watching this video, yo, from my heart, I will ask you to do this. Step away from the fighting. Ego, pride aside, step away from the fighting. Because what you engage in when it comes to this family of yours, where it involves fighting amongst one another. I don't know that y'all agree to this or not, but fighting with your family does cause damage to your bloodline. It's not normal to be consistently fighting with your blood. So we have to go higher and realize if this is my family, whether I chose them or not, because I'm gonna be like, we blood, but they not my family. Right. I got you. Been there. Trust me, I know all about it. Okay. Mixed family here, thoroughbred, straight through. Like I know all of the dynamics. Okay. And I love my fam. What you gotta do is you gotta step back. Because it's not natural to be fighting with your tribe. And I told you, your bloodlines, they will continue to come through these consciousness that come through these family bloodlines will continue to come through again and again and again as they resolve, as they resolve, as they resolve. Now, the more that this work is done to clear the karmic debt, eventually someone's not going to come back anymore, right? They're going to rise through their consciousness gets to be merged completely with the oneness and does not need a physical vehicle to experience this earthly life any longer. And of course, when you have someone do that within your bloodline, you receive the benefits of that level of ascension. So I don't know about you, but like, why not try to be that one? I mean, it depends on what you got a taste for. But in whatever way you can, do your best to not add to the debt. Next. That's my little soapbox thing. All right. There you go. Next thing. Never ending poverty. Never ending poverty. That's not natural either, right? The world evolves. And there's so many stories of people being born in poverty, and that's not how they die. And because it's not how they die, what do you see? Their children have a leg up. They're doing better. And then they have a whole different mindset and system of operating. So then their children do well financially, So like it continues to grow. So understand, like, I grew up in an apartment, but I've already transitioned what I experienced into living in a house. So now when I transition myself from living in a house to a castle, I changed that script for my generations to come. It's going to be like, well, I inherited this estate. Of course, I'm going to now just have another estate in another part of the world. Exactly. I like talking big with y'all. I hope y'all enjoy it. Okay. Next thing, addiction. Addiction passes on, y'all. So for all my folks who got like a smoking addiction, alcohol, you can't stop drinking, or you smoke mad weed, or you having sex all the time, different partners, um, or whatever kind of addictions you have, right? Where you feel like you can't control yourself. Ancestors, ancestors. One real consistent way of addiction showing up with the ancestors, y'all gonna hear it, is they fault. Is when you get to drinking. How many of y'all have experienced that? You drinking and you like, oh, I'm gonna just have one drink. You go have the one drink. You're like, I'll just have one more. Next thing you know, you toe up from the floor up. Ancestors. That's not just you. And the mantras I'm going to give you and some of the rituals I'm going to give you are going to help you address that. Because it's not fair to you to be consistently doing all this work, and then for because of your ancestors who are out of pocket and just deciding they want to be so close to you that they roll through and use your body to get a taste of life here on earth again, that you get tripped up. Okay. The last thing I wanted to share with you is always being in debt. Always being in debt. You do your most to pay off your bills, and it's like just when you thought you was about to be like, oh, my bills are paid off, car accident. Now you got to replace the whole front bumper. Now you in debt again. Oh, taxes come in. You didn't even know you was going to owe that many thousands of dollars. Oh, one of your kids took your credit cards and maxed it out at the mall. So these are various ways. And thank you so much, Emerald, for putting these notes in the chat. If you will, those of you who are watching, screenshot it so that it doesn't get lost. Because sometimes this live chat is not so dependable. Okay? So, how many of y'all heard at least one thing that pertained to your life? At least one. Press 1 in the chat. All right. You know what's another question I'm going to ask you? How many of you are perplexed when some of these things are happening to you? Because like you yourself, you're a good person, you're a good human being, you do so many good things for yourself, your friends, your community, and some of these things that you notice pertain to you, you're perplexed, like, why is this happening? Press 1 in the chat. All right, bet. So this is why I want to talk about this, because there are ancestors that either, I don't want to say that all ancestors need to be checked, because I don't want to use that kind of disrespectful language to those who don't need to be checked in a disrespectful manner, but they need to be recognized and dealt with. Now, of course, there are ancestors that absolutely they need to be checked because they're just too involved in your life. They're too involved. Like you want to acknowledge them and recognize, like, for the fact of your life living, I'm here, right? Thank you, I got here. But kind of like the same spiel, like, you got me here, but you did a lot of harm you've done a lot of harm in the way that you've decided to carry out your life. And the conversation goes, I'm going to do what I need to do to clear our bloodline of this harm that you've caused to our generations. But you need to be at peace and you need to chill out. I have nothing to give you. This is what we're doing. Okay? And essentially you'll be saying this in your mantras, like, I have nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing else but this prayer that you be at peace, you be at ease while I get to this work. Okay? Then there's circumstances, like I said, people who just accidental deaths, sudden deaths. It's shocking. It's like, I'm not here. Like, I'm not settled with not being here. Okay? And sometimes there's certain things that are still here, present in your lives or in your homes, that keep reminding them of the pain of not being here, and they're attached to it. So we'll get to that. Okay? Yeah. For those of you who want to see how this might be represented in your astrological charts, because someone did mention it yesterday, and I said I'll get to it. It's called a PITRA dosha. PITRA dosha. And you are going to want to look at your 5th, your 9th, your 1st, and your 2nd houses. And most importantly, Rahu's presence. Okay? I'm not teaching an astrology course right this moment, right? So I'm not going to get into too many details, but I will give you something to look at. So you will look at Rahu's presence in your 5th or your 9th house with the sun. Okay. You will look at Rahu's presence by itself in your 1st, 5th, or 9th house. And you will look for Rahu without any auspicious planets in your 2nd house. Because Rahu is giving you a ride. Okay. So what can we do? What can we do, mother? How many of y'all think y'all can handle a 21-day, consistent 21-day ritual? Press 1 in the chat. And I'm going to get to y'all questions and y'all comments afterwards. Okay. Okay. Cool. So here's what I'm going to have y'all do. And I'm still going to talk with y'all. Because I figure if I spend more time now really pouring into your understanding, it'll help to ease some of the grief that you experience. Like, nobody likes to have that frustration of like, son, like, I'm the only one that cares about the spiritual stuff. I'm the only one that does these fasts. I'm the only one lighting the candle and saying the prayer. And everybody else is just going crazy and like they're not doing anything about it. But I know like there's a reason why I'm the only one. I don't know how many of y'all have a whole family filled with people who do this work, but for the most part, it's always just one. It's just one. And what is awesome is that for those of you who don't realize it, you are definitely like a sannyasin. So you're taking care of those 7 generations. And although you may not in this vehicle, in this conscious experience during this phase of time, get to reap all of the rewards of your work, if you are sure that we continue to be rebirthed, you will get an opportunity to experience the rewards. So keep doing the work. All right. Okay, bet. So the first warm up I'm gonna have y'all do, and y'all gonna start this tomorrow. Okay, Saturday. Y'all gonna start this tomorrow. The only thing that you might not have are maybe some black sesame seeds, but you are going to make some rice balls with some ghee. So cook your rice because you don't want to kill the animals that y'all are gonna feed. Cook your rice. You're gonna add some ghee and some black sesame seeds and roll them into these balls. And on Saturdays during this 21-day period, and yes, for those of you who know about the calendar and all of that, this type of work is done community-wide. This past year, it was like that last week of September. Okay? But I'm going to give you some dates that this is going to be extra powerful for you. Okay? So don't mind that. You're going to take these rice balls and you're going to chant Om PITRA DEVAYA NAMAHA 108 times over them. I did put the mantra in the description box. Okay? You'll chant that over them. And then, here's the big one. Here's the big one. So this is like what, sorry, my desk is a little. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to chant Om SHREEM SARVA PITRA DOSHA NIRVANAYA KLESHAM SUKHA SHANTIM DEHI PHAT SWAHA over the rice balls again. Okay? This is 108 times. Now, You are going to do this for the first day. 1 second. I'm doing a little math for y'all. Perfect. Okay. Y'all ready? Cool. If you want to go for the big numbers, you can. But for tomorrow, you're going to do 108 of both of these mantras. For the next 20 days after you're doing this, there's more to your ritual, but this just the mantra alone. For the next 20 days, you can either do 45 of the japa every single day and make sure you hit 108 every Saturday when you're making your rice balls. All right, I'll tell y'all what to do with the stuff. Don't worry about it. Or if you got the time and you got some real stuff going on, every single day you're going to wash, prepare yourself, clean yourself, put on a fresh white outfit that you're going to wear every single day. And you're going to chant the second mantra 1,008 times. Now, that is maybe 9 japas? 10. It's between 9.5, okay? So 10 japas through. Okay? For some of y'all, you are experiencing hella backlash. And it might be wise to hit Om SHREEM SARVA PITRA DOSHA NIRVANAYA KLESHAM SUKHA SHANTIM DEHI PHAT SWAHA 1,008 times every day for 21 days. Every day for 21 days. It really might just be worth it if you know, I ain't doing anything to create this havoc in my life. So press 1 in the chat if y'all clear about the mantra discipline. Every Saturday, you're going to get up. You're going to put on this white outfit. You're going to make these rice balls and you're going to chant over them. What you're going to do with those rice balls is you're going to go feed Bhumi Devi, the goddess of the earth. You're going to feed crows, fish, ants, or dogs. I suggest that you all make sure that you feed crows. If you have access to feeding some fish, you should do that too. Being able to go out to the ocean or the rivers and connect with the water, as people of African descent, okay, there are many souls disturbed that are in the ocean and the waters that connect to it. Okay. As for your white outfit, for the 21 days, you only need to wear that one white outfit. Okay. I know that getting 21 white outfits is not feasible for everybody. And honestly, the ashe of doing this work in that white outfit, so long as it's not like dirty, is good. Okay. And then on top of that, a white tee, some white pants, they're rather affordable. But in the white clothes that you wear for this ritual, let it just be for this. All right. Now, y'all see these candles? These are some, you can either use emergency candles or Shabbat candles. Okay. But every single day for 21 days, all right, you're going to use a fresh glass of water and put them next to each other. You're going to light it. You're going to do your mantra discipline. You'll take that water and you'll pour it into the earth. Okay? This is for my ancestors, to bring them peace and tranquility. And pour it into the earth. All right? You light one of these a day. You do not need a 7-day candle. Do not need a 7-day candle. You're going to light it and let it burn till it's out. One a day. I got this box, 72 of these babies. And I think maybe it was $12. I really don't remember. But it's totally affordable. It's so worth it. Because ancestors like either bring the rewards or get up off my neck so I can clear this up. I'm going to have to clear this up for our generations. Okay? The rice balls, you don't have to worry about the number of rice balls. All right? You just want to make sure to feed those particular animals every Saturday. So 21 days is 3 weeks. You got 3 Saturdays that you're going out there and you're feeding those animals. Now in the interim, during these 21 days, I spoke to y'all about certain things that y'all got ancestors that are attached to. If you are having a real issue with your fam, you know how you like to keep particular clothing that belong to the deceased? You know how you like to hold on to particular items in the house that person just loves so much, right? If it's not like a family heirloom, it would be a good idea to get rid of those things via fire. Okay? Because those things, when they're seen, they spark the memories of life here. And when there's a spirit that cannot get over the fact that they are not physically here any longer, they create this constant frustration in your life. If you need more information about that, inbox me, because different situations call for different means. All right, so just inbox me on Facebook, or you could text me. What's dope, right, about technology, true spiritual science, is that you're going to see rituals like this that exist in the diaspora, and they absolutely work. But anyways, 21 days. starting tomorrow. If you don't have these already in your house, then grab some tomorrow. Everybody tends to have at least one bag of rice in the house. Those black sesame seeds are probably the only thing that you have to run out and grab. And yeah, so that's it. Any questions? Any questions? All right, so write this down in your notebooks. If you have the deceased date of your ancestors, because we tend to do this, right? We tend to celebrate their birthday when they were alive. The most powerful date, once they transcend, when it comes to doing rituals for them, is the day that they passed. So, although there's a period of time where collectively there are PITRA DOSHA pujas done, right? The day that that person died, when it comes up in the calendar year, you do this joint. For those of you who don't have the time nor the energy to do 1008 of the mantra that I've given you, and I have more, right? On that date, do your thing. Fresh white outfit, candle, water, hit it all the way. Make your rice balls for the Saturday, and feed those animals. In honor of that ancestor, donate things, feed people, and go to your places where, like, there's monks, and gift them some cases of water, juice, rice, whatever. Okay? Because those are going to be considered the people who are dedicating their lives to removing the karmic debts of humanity. So you want to give them something. All right? Let me see. I'm going to scroll through here because I thought I saw some really good commentary and I want to be able to address it. Second eldest bro battling alcohol addiction just laid his son to rest last month. Other day, my bro pretty much flipped out. Yeah, so that definitely does sound like some unsettled ancestral karmic debt. Rare bird, one rare bird. So definitely get to working. And that young man that just passed, get to doing this mantra and actually dedicate it to him. Okay? Dedicate it to him. Let's see. What if you see your parents dealing with this, but you don't? You just see them and we're in the role of healing and guiding your parents. What I want to say about that, for my parents who have deceased and my living parents, regardless of how good I may feel a position I'm in, my having to witness people that I care about struggling with something, one, are they struggling with something, or is my ego involved in figuring that they should be doing something different than what they're doing? Or are they really struggling with something? It's going to affect me. It absolutely bothers me. Okay? So for me to say, if I see my parents dealing with something, but I don't, in some way or another, I'm dealing with it. Because they're my parents. So if they're dealing with financial hardship, I won't be able to go to them in any financial need. Or I will have to support them financially, and I won't be able to fully enjoy my financial increase in the same way. It can be in the way that I want to do something that is extracurricular for myself, and I cleared all my debt, but now mom calls and says, we're behind on the mortgage. You absolutely deal with it in some way or another. You deal with the fear that you might experience it, so subconsciously you're living with a fear. And we know that fear is attractive to certain other energies, and that creates certain kinds of blockages in our creativity or in the chances that we take for expansion in our career or for moving to a new place in the world. You see what I mean? Q Alchemist, I just called a temple today about the PITRA DOSHA. Dope. Right on time. Right on time. Do this. Do this first and see how you feel. Okay? Let me see. I was saying, should I share this work with them or honor that I am the one to do this clearing? Now you do the work. You do the work. You know what I mean? And I say you do the work because sometimes when we in this position, like we gotta be mindful that we don't just get new information and go, oh, you gotta do this too. You should do this. It's awesome. No, you do it first. Let it speak to your life. Let people see it, right? Through you. And allow them to come to you. And for you in particular, if you're a goddess, you don't have to push it on nobody. It's seen, it's felt, it's heard, and they will come. Or they will say they trust you to do the work on their behalf. The conversation will present itself. We ain't doing no chasing out here. Shaktis don't do no chasing. All right. Let me see. Good question here. Good question. Is it possible to remove all the karmic debt in a bloodline? It depends. It depends on how much debt. If it's more than you have time to take care of in one lifetime, then the answer is absolutely no. And the next person after you may not be able to cover it either. But what is happening for sure is that the debt is going down. So maybe by that third person, they already hit to this is the work that we're doing for our bloodline, and they get in a week of work and suddenly boom, everything clears up. It's not because they have more power than you. It's because you did the work, and then the person after you did the work, and now they only have that last payment. When that last payment right before you clear your debt for a loan, and you're like, whoo, I did that. Right? You've been making these payments, and then finally you get to that last piece, you're like, okay, I'm about to just pay that off. That's what will happen. Okay? All right. Shalom. Let's see. I was saying, should I share this work with them? I got you already. No doubt, Lottie. No doubt. If a relative that had no children but was troubled in life, does their karma end with them or does it too pass to family members? It passes to family members. That bloodline is no joke. It passes to family members because they can absolutely be reborn through your children or your children's children. Okay? Some members are vile, though. It's hard to feel empathy for them. So, this work is not about empathy for all people. And I like that you brought that up now, though, because, those of us who are doing this work, we can be taken for granted, or people don't realize, like, what I'm doing is actually important. You may not get it, but what I'm doing is important. Okay? And a lot of y'all are empaths, so y'all just feel for people. Being an empath, and I want to make sure we're using the correct language, means that you absolutely can feel what another person is feeling. Now, just because you can feel what the other person is feeling does not mean that you need to translate that into, I need to feel sorry for you, or I need to negate any accountability that you should have for your own actions. Like, it is what it is. Especially for empaths, you have to have strong boundaries of what is happening, what is being felt, what's my actual feeling towards this, and what am I feeling that doesn't belong to me. All right. This work, to keep it a buck with you, I'm giving you this work because I know that some of y'all are really dedicated students. I know that some of y'all don't really go out of your way to be a problem. You understand? But some of y'all still, if it weren't for rituals being done on your behalf, would be struggling even more. So you're just happy to not struggle as much, but you're still struggling. So for whatever reason, my guides were like, yo, give them something for that PITRA dosha. And I was like, okay, what we talking about here? All right, we talk about these ancestors, we venerating ancestors. What kind of ancestors do we have? Are all of our ancestors really, like, should we be worshiping them, or do we need to take care of something for them to make sure that they're at peace and out the way, so that you could deal with these other ancestors that have real powers, real good intentions for you, and can help you get through these obstacles? It's about you. Feel me? Everybody else who benefits from it, congratulations. You're welcome. You're welcome that I was born. It's okay to say that. Okay? Do y'all mind me saying that? I don't care. It's the truth, though. It's the truth. Let me see. Yeah, because my parents have been coming to me and even shifting in major ways, especially my mom, and I'm happy for this. All right, cool. The LD's bugging out. Man, Lottie, your granny be acting up, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Because I'm seeing that my clearings are working. As I hit something, my mom benefits directly. Sometimes it's like instant, my mom calls me. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's always dope to be able to see that relatives that you care about are at least in energetic alignment to receive the rewards of your work and have the notion to give you some type of confirmation of job well done. That's dope. My grandmother's sister died suddenly in a fire on my birthday, and they tell me I look like her, and I remind them of her all the time. Jonah, perfect example. Perfect example. And because you are not only in and out doing, the money lessons, but you are digging in and consistently doing all of your assignments and keeping a steady sadhana, this is going to be icing on the cake because it's already being worked out. So, this example of you look like the ancestor, you act like the ancestor, you remind everybody of the ancestor. Well, let me think. That ancestor decided to be reborn through you. Okay? Now, although they decided to be reborn through you, dun, 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 I love it when y'all start chatting because then we have way more to talk about, right? You are you and your ancestors' energy exist. So, where does it become troublesome? You still have your life to live, but you're so closely attached and aligned with this other ancestor trying to live out the rest of their life that you could end up just living their life for them. And then your consciousness, right? When you came, we're all with the upgrade. We know that, right? That's one thing that's fabulous about our genetics. We are the upgrade. Every time we connect with another person and produce another person, I mentioned this a long time ago. We take the best parts to reproduce. That's the natural order of things. So we are the upgrade. All right. So then Jonah's life that she wanted to live can constantly get pulled by this ancestor trying to live out their life. You're going this way and you're getting pulled. That energy is pulling you into whatever that was that they were doing. All right. It's a problem if you laugh like, you look like this individual, right? And sometimes the parents go and give you that name too, right? But they were an alcoholic. You had your time with the alcoholism, you cleaned up your ways, and now you're going about Jonah's life. Not saying this is your story, just for y'all who's listening in. It's a fictional story. But Jonah, now you're going on your way. And then people, backsliders, right? Keep trying to bring you back into that world that you were in before you became conscious of your natural self, who you truly are. And so you end up in this wobble zone until you totally appease that ancestral energy. Boom, clear that. And now you are able to move scot-free on your journey as Jonah. People will notice that you even look different. Like, you look so different because you have cleared up that energy and released it, that you're getting more of your own features, and it's beautiful. You are the upgrade. Does that make sense? All right. Can you elaborate a little on what you mentioned when you said that when doing the work, we may not reap all of the benefits in this lifetime? Yeah, because your karmic debt from your bloodline might be that big. It's like they got $1 million in debt and you work your ass off, but you only make 900,000. You worked off 900,000 of that, but it feels good. You get some perks here and there for paying your bill on time, but the full bang, that next generation will get it. Or when you depart, or when you have children, because when we have children, we absolutely are rebirthing ourselves. When they benefit from it, that's you receiving the rewards of your work. All right. So, like, when you are doing this work You get beyond thinking about yourself. Like, people are asking questions not just for themselves, they are asking it about their family, their bloodline. That's a natural inclination when you're the one. When you're the one. But also understanding that this is just a snap in time. What's 100 years? What's 100 years if you live to be 100 years on this planet? That ain't nothing. There's a snap in time. All right? Sometimes it doesn't matter this life if you leave fulfilled. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be my own ranch right now. Got it. Thank you, Lottie. Appreciate that. I resonate with the alcoholism story because my mom would say, yeah, our grandfather was a drinker and I had a battle with it, and now I'm free of it. Barely even sip wine and am content. Cool. All right, y'all. So that's all that I have for y'all. Do y'all have any questions about this ritual that you're going to start tomorrow? Tomorrow. Are we clear? We is clear there. So here's what I want you to do for me. Are y'all gonna do something for me? All I want to see are your rice balls, pause, white candles, and your glass for water, and your white outfit for this 21-day ritual. You chant every day. You're chanting over your rice balls on Saturdays. I'm so Brooklyn. Yeah. You chant and feed the animals on Saturdays, Jonah. And the last piece, use a fresh white towel, okay, as your asana. So your seat when you get to chanting. What direction? What direction? No one asked that question. Cool. You're facing the south. Okay? And I remember I was like, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing. You are setting your intentions. You're setting your intentions. Yes, now that you can use your iPhone as a compass. Or you gotta, once you know which direction is what, you just sit facing that direction. I promise you it won't change while you're sitting. I'm being funny. All right. My camera's not far enough back, but this is how my hands are. Okay? Put hands up. Om PITRA DEVAYA NAMAHA. Om PITRA DEVAYA NAMAHA. Om PITRA DEVAYA NAMAHA. Now, I know all of y'all because I done seen y'all up close and personal and got the stamina to keep your hands up there for that whole time. So, before you do it, just set your intention. I release my ancestors from disturbing my life here on earth, and I offer them peace, clarity, and upliftment. I want you to use your own words. When it comes to setting intentions, what comes from here has the most power. Okay? So y'all understand the assignment. Y'all want to lift them in light. Y'all want to release them from any pain, hurt, or negativity and karmic debts. And let them know I have nothing here for you besides this light and this cool water and this mantra. Lift it up. Release it. Hit your japa. Okay? We chant over the rice balls on the 3 Saturdays. And what for the other days? Are we making fresh rice every Saturday? Fresh rice every Saturday. I suggest you don't use more than a cup, because that's going to make more than enough. All right? Saturday sunrise. Saturday sunrise before noon when you're making your rice balls. As for your daily chanting, you can do it in the evening. Okay? After sunset. Y'all got it? All right, y'all. I want to see that. 21 days. 21 days. And for those of you, thank you for participating, doing your homework, and sharing with us some of your ancestors in HOC. We still rolling with that. I want y'all to load up the group with them ancestors that bring you the most rewards in their lives that they've lived. We're going to strengthen them up some more with some ashe. And let's get busy. That's all, family. Much love, peace, and bliss. Always. Happy Diwali. May the light be with you, light beams. Shine bright. I'm out of here.